Hey, it's Chris, the supply chain doctor and host of Supply Chain is Boring, bringing you practical insights to help you become a better supply chain professional and change the world one supply chain at a time. In this session, we introduce and discuss Poka-Yoke, a key term for CPIM2, and a nice to know for the other certifications. Apex materials are the sole property of Apex. Apex materials are for the user's educational use only, and Apex materials may not be reproduced, copied, recorded, downloaded, etc. by such users for any purpose. Poka-Yoke is defined in the Apex dictionary as mistake-proofing techniques, such as manufacturing or setup activities, designed in a way to prevent an error from resulting in a product defect later on. As you will soon learn, Poka-Yoke is something you may be exposed to daily.
Ever heard of the term Poka-Yoke? Or as my late great colleague Norman Bodek would say, Poka-Yoke. Poka-Yoke. It's a fun word to say, but oft mispronounced. Whatever the pronunciation, it's a Japanese term meaning mistake-proofing or inadvertent error prevention. The Poka-Yoke is a mechanism in any process that helps an equipment operator avoid mistakes. Its purpose is to eliminate product defects by preventing, correcting, or drawing attention to human errors as they occur. The concept was formalized and the term adopted by Shigo Shingo, that's easy for you to say, as part of the Toyota production system. In a lean environment, a key driver is the elimination of waste. A potential source of waste is rework, or when an output needs to be corrected before it is considered complete. Obviously, if you do something right the first time, there's no need to do it over, hence the elimination of that wasteful process step. In traditional manufacturing or assembly, Poka-Yoke is used to ensure there is only one way for two parts to fit together. Poka-Yoke is also around us every day, probably things you see and deal with, you just don't really realize it. For example, your car safety features are now basically, I think it's part of a government law in the States, but there are certain things you can't do unless you have specific things done in the car. For example, some cars won't let you drive far without having the seatbelt on. You get the warning messages when the door is ajar, those types of things. But something more frequently that I see every day in a house is your outlets, your plugs and your outlets. If you think about this, this is a traditional three-pronged outlet found in the States. You can see it's obviously, this is one form of the andon. It's got three prongs or three plugs. So if you're dealing with a grounded outlet or a grounded plug, it only goes in one specific way. But you'll notice here also this one side is a little bit larger than the other. So if you have an older fashioned plug such as this, it will not go in the wrong way. So if I try to put it in where the large plug is not facing or not slotted to the large hole, it's not going to go in. If I turn it around, it only goes in one way, hence the concept of a great Poka-Yoke in everyday life. The funny thing about this simple but effective approach to zero defects is it's too easy to mistake. It's too easy to make a mistake, just like I did. It's too easy to make a mistake when pronouncing the word meaning mistake-proofing. Poka-Yoke or Poka-Yoke.
We'll end with a couple practical questions as representative examples of what you might see on an exam. No warranty or guarantee is implied. Question 1, Computers R Us is selling a desktop computer system with a printer, screen, keyboard, and external hard drive. To help customers avoid putting the system together incorrectly, the cords on each component are color-coded to match a plug in the computer and the device. This is a lean practice known as Gemba, Poka-Yoke, Jishunka, or 5S. Correct answer, Poka-Yoke. If you understand the definition and the concepts that we've reviewed today, you will see the answer is correct. Gemba is another term associated to lean and just in time, but it's really a false positive in this case. It's a real term. It's associated to lean, but it's not the correct answer in this case. Jishunka is a made-up term. 5S is also a term related to waste and process improvements, but it's not the right answer for this one. Next question. In 1961, Shigo Shingo, a quality consultant for Toyota, developed the Poka-Yoke concept. Which of the following best describes Poka-Yoke? Signaling system, mistake-proofing, tremendous waste across everywhere. Correct answer, again, if you understand the definition and what we've been speaking about, mistake-proofing. Signaling system is a concept associated to just-in-time. It's probably more Kanban or andon, so that is another false positive that you could select, but it would be wrong. And then the other two, tremendous waste and across anywhere, are false answers. They're kind of distractors, not real, anything that you should have seen in a learning system. This information is brought to you by the Supply Chain Doctor, host of Supply Chain is Boring, on the Supply Chain Now Network. Check out supplychainnow.com for more information to help you become a better supply chain professional. And understand Poka-Yoke, especially if you're studying for CPIM Part 2.